Welcome back to another in-between episode of the NC Squared Conspiracy Podcast. My name is Simon.
I'm Chance.
Today, we're going to talk about the Noxious Weed Administration and what they're doing to keep me down in life, essentially.
If you haven't really found out the pattern, the minisodes.
We're not calling them minisodes. We've decided that. But we're going to talk about the Noxious Weed Administration today. But before we do that, I want to thank our patrons. They pay for our beer, they pay for our pizza, and our RSS hosting fees. And they are the reasons we're able to now come to you with more than one episode every other week, but occasionally in between episodes, in between the episodes that are every other week.
Oh, yeah.
We released the one on the Antarctica Bread Box. If you haven't heard that one, go back and give it a listen. There's some tasty stuff in there. But today we're talking about the Noxious Weed Administration. And to begin that, we need to go back a little bit because I have a story to tell you.
Just a small one.
Months back, amidst my busy life, because I have a busy life. I don't. I keep myself busy, though. I got a call from a landlord. I rent. Got a call from a landlord telling me that the Noxious Weed Administration? Is that what they are?
I think it's administration.
Noxious Weed Control Board. The Noxious Weed Control Board had contacted him and told him that on my property there was something known as skeleton weed, which is known as a noxious weed here in Washington and causes trouble for farmers.
Yeah.
Essentially, here in the middle of the city, causes trouble for farmers. And that if I was not to get rid of it immediately, I would be facing fines. Okay.
Did they describe what kind of fines?
No, I don't think they did. This was.
Let's assume it's exorbitant.
Exorbitant, because that's what Washington State does. If you're in violation of anything, it costs you a ton of money.
And they can garnish your
and
paycheck.
It costs you money to fix it. Costs you money if you don't fix it, and it costs money to fix it. This was an area of my yard I was not told I had to take care of because it was just gravel, basically, next to an alleyway. And so it's outside of my fence, right? Mm-hmm. I take care of my lawn. I did not take care of this area outside of the fence because, like, it's where homeless people throw their garbage.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming go to the bathroom and stuff.
Probably.
So I stay out of there, but I do pick up the garbage on occasion. But this is the area they were talking about. So there was skeleton weed there. And so I had to, on my days off, because you don't get time off for this stuff.
Cherished times.
Yeah. I had to purchase a weed eater. Not just any weed eater, because not a standard weed eater will take care of these weeds. So I bought like a nice weed eater, work at a pawn shop, so I got it from the pawn shop. Nice weed eater. It had blades instead of string. Some people probably don't know that exists, but that's what you need when it comes to this. Couldn't run it over with a lawnmower. Had to be cut down. Took me days, hours and hours of work on these days to get it taken care of. And this is what they said. They said that the path to getting rid of skeleton weed involves cutting it all down and then spraying pesticides, i.e. Roundup on it, every month for 6 to 12 years. 6 to 12
Sounds like someone's getting
years.
some handoffs from Monsanto.
Yeah, that's what
Now
I'm saying. And so I said, well, I'm not spraying Roundup because anyone who has checked out the news recently has seen they're paying out millions of billions of dollars to people who got cancer from Roundup.
Yeah.
So I'm not feeling like spraying Roundup on a monthly basis for 6 to 12 years.
On a rental property.
On a rental property. So I cut it all down, and we have since contacted them, and then they left it alone. But there's more to this. It bothers me because I hate being told what to do. And on top of that, I hate being told I need to do something or it's going to cost me money.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we live in Spokane. For people who don't know, it's a city riddled with transit problems. The roads are horrendous.
Oh, yeah.
Like, absolutely horrendous. And it's been we're on a 10-year plan.
At one point in time after like a winter snowfall, you could see the brick of the original like 1930s road underneath through like 90% of the road.
You could see through the potholes. There were potholes so big next to my prior house that I saw a car had fallen into it. Its front right wheel had fallen in and it was stuck in this pothole. And so they got this car out and they put a cone in the pothole. That was how they fixed it. So like, and they're coming at me with fines for having weeds next to my property. Okay?
Not even your property, just next to your fence.
Next to my fence. They're coming at me with fines saying I got to take care of that. Meanwhile, they have not even fixed the roads that people are getting their cars trapped in. There are potholes so big, people are getting their cars stuck in them. And I'm supposed to be paying because I didn't take care of the weeds next to my yard. Now, it gets worse. Because they said skeleton weed, it gets in the way of nature's course.
Yeah.
Now, this may come as a surprise to you. I did not plant the skeleton weed. Nobody planted the skeleton weed. It came up naturally. Yeah. Nature's course intended for that skeleton weed to shoot up through the asphalt next to my house. I did not do this, okay? It came up of natural causes. And in order to get rid of it, they want me to spray man-made pesticides to get rid of it.
Yeah, weed killer.
Tell me that makes sense.
Yep.
Look me in my eyes and tell me that makes sense.
Well, it's good because then you use Roundup and then the water runoff goes into the sewer system and it continues on the continued Spokane bad water supply.
That's true. It just makes the water here even worse.
Yeah.
Perfect.
For 6 to 12
years. We are
years.
on the list of bad water for the country. We're up there.
Which is sad because 20 years ago, Washington had the cleanest waters around.
Oh, yeah. No, people, Washington has all these alternative power sources and they're so green and Starbucks doesn't have plastic lids anymore and they're charging you for bags now. That's all fine and dandy. But they're also charging people for weeds showing up of natural causes next to their house and claiming it's because it's not nature's course and that it's causing... Oh my God, I'm getting worked up. But
so
the whole point of the Noxious Weed Board was to take care of weeds that were causing problems with crops.
Yeah.
I am smack dab in the middle of town, okay? I am visual distance and walking distance from a shopping mall. Who knows what comes out of that shopping mall, but it must do more damage, not to mention all the land they tore up to build that shopping mall.
Yeah.
It has to be causing more disruptance than... Oh my God. We don't curse on this show, but
but you're getting pretty close.
But I could. It's it's on the edge of my tongue. But they come at me saying that I've got to get rid of these weeds because I'm causing problems. Now go to any part of Spokane, any unkempt lot, any spot next to the road that is owned by the city, and it's full of this freaking skeleton weed, and they don't do anything about it. There's parks. Okay, there's this park on Freya, right off the interstate, that they just burnt completely. I don't know if they did it on purpose, but prior to the burnings, packed with skeleton weed. And it was for the 2 years I lived right next to it. Where are those fines? Why am I getting charged
Well, the city's
fines?
not going to fine itself.
That's what bothers me, though, is the fact that I am held to a higher standard than the city itself that I live in. Now, I used to live in the country.
Yeah,
I
same
did.
here.
I lived right next to the Canadian border, right smack dab in the middle of nowhere in a town called Laurier. I was the last house on the right before you reached the border. So, I lived around farmers. Mm-hmm. I know about this. I know about the skeleton weed thing, and I know about the whole Noxious Weed Board and why it's important. But it does not apply to me living in the middle of town surrounded by other houses. It doesn't.
In a city that allows it to go on their own parks.
In a city that allows it to go on in their own parks, next to their own roads, and called out a little bit, can't even manage to fix their own roads, but are constantly rebuilding things all over town.
I know, there's constantly.
Oh, we got to rebuild this road because it's in front of a school.
We're going to put 3 roundabouts in this highway.
Hey, I'm all for it. That's great. Fix that road that's next to the school, but maybe fix the potholes that are swallowing cars nearly whole first.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We could do
this could be like a roast Spokane.
We could yeah.
Okay, and a lot of people use the hashtag Spokane doesn't suck thing. I'm sure you've seen that.
Nope.
Okay, well, people say hashtag Spokane doesn't suck because people say Spokane sucks. I don't think Spokane sucks. There's many great things about Spokane. But that dude, oh my gosh, I wanted to move when I learned about that. It just pushed me over the edge. The conspiracy, it's not even really a conspiracy. The thing that's going on here is that the city is holding citizens to a higher standard than it holds itself.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yep.
I think that's wrong. Why, you know?
And they're telling you to use
They're telling me to
weed
use
killer.
a harmful pesticide that no doubt will do more damage than that weed is doing in that part of town and is, in the media, causing cancer. So get rid of these weeds.
Yeah, didn't they recommend Roundup?
Roundup.
Yeah,
Yes.
they actually
So, like,
said they recommended Roundup.
So they tell me to go use this Roundup for 6 to 12 years, ensuring that I will probably get cancer.
Yeah.
But at least it won't be affecting the
natural
crops around my house. There's no crops for tens of miles, dude.
It's not affecting
so
the natural
stupid.
growth of the area.
I would also like to say, you've seen my yard.
Yeah.
It's green.
Yeah.
Like, it might get a little long sometimes, but I like that. I used to live out in the woods. I don't like the whole kempt lawn. It doesn't have to be like a game that people make it where it's like who has the best lawn. But I got like one of the best lawns around here.
Yeah,
everybody's lawns are dead. If you go to the alleyway across the street that's not on my property, but it's owned by the city, covered in skeleton weed.
Oh yeah, all the way
Still
down.
is to this day.
Like it's growing out like to where cars have to push past it.
That's what I'm saying. And like nothing's happening there. But me specifically, I gotta pay money. Or I've got to take time out of my life to go and do this. Or
Spend money to do it.
Spend money to do it. Dude, I bought a commercial weed eater because a regular weed eater would not be able to do it. So it was either like hire a crew to do it or do it myself. And, you know, I don't hire anybody to do anything. I got to do it myself.
Yeah.
It would've
If you can
cost
do
more-
it yourself, do it yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it would cost more money to hire a crew anyhow. But that's the part that gets me, was that it cost me money. And if I wouldn't have paid the money to take care of it, then I would have had to pay money to them for not taking care of it.
Yeah, and it's not like after you paid them the money, the fine, that they'd take care of it for you. They'd just continue fining you
Oh, yeah.
until it was taken care of.
No, absolutely.
That's why I'm absolutely 100% against like the homeowner associations. I will never, ever, ever live in anywhere where they own the land, I own the house, and they can tell me everything I'm allowed to do to my home.
Right. Yeah. No, right.
Like that's the opposite of the American dream, but it's also opposite of common sense.
There's a lot of neighborhoods.
Don't own the land
There's a
that
lot
your
of
actual
neighborhoods
house
like
is
that.
on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that like those like gated communities,
You can't paint your house whatever color you want.
Yeah,
You can't let your grass grow too long.
You can't put
Why does it matter?
like they go so far as to like sometimes they'll be like, you can't have this bumper sticker on there that supports a particular political party.
Exactly.
Like
that's wrong.
ridiculous. Like I said, it's not just against like the American freedom and rights as an American, but common sense. Why would you buy a house on land that you don't own so they literally can sell your house at any time? Technically the land, which then evicts you from your home because your home can't be on the land that they own.
Exactly.
But then you also have to pay dues to them. You have to pay fines to them for pretty much anything that they like deem is in the homeowners association book and stuff. Like that's ridiculous to me. I understand that some people like to live in those gated communities because they feel safer, or that it represents a specific lifestyle that they like.
And that's fine.
I will never.
I wouldn't
live
No.
somewhere where someone can tell me what I can paint my house,
Dude, honestly,
or how well
I hate the fact that like if you let your lawn get out of control, the city comes after you with fines.
Yeah.
And that's like part of living in town, and I get that and stuff. And they always talk about how it's like it's disruptive and it's invasive and it's an eyesore and stuff like that. And it's like that's all fine and dandy, but being Washington and how we're supposed to be this great eco-friendly state, and by eco-friendly they mean we charge people who aren't eco-friendly.
Yeah.
Why is it a problem if I let my grass grow at its own natural rate?
Yeah.
I like long grass. My cats like running around in it. And so, like, dude, I don't care. I don't like the whole kempt lawn look anyhow. If I could grow long grass and have my cats run around in it, that's great. Now I got to spray Roundup. My cats can't run around in that. I can't even run around in that because it's bad for you. there's like neighbors' dogs who use the bathroom there and like play in there, and I'm supposed to spray Roundup. Might as well kill the dogs.
Yeah.
That's a little extreme, but you get what I'm saying. These whole, like, the weed board and stuff like this, they come from good places, and then they end up using them in manners that are unfair to the people who live within city limits.
Just straight up corrupt.
That's straight up corrupt.
What kind of government agency is allowed to recommend a product to you? Like, that's ridiculous.
Come out.
Like, use Roundup for 6 to 12 years. It's like, first of all, you are not supposed to promote. Like, a YouTuber isn't even supposed to be allowed to promote a product.
Right.
Like, otherwise,
We
copyright
have to
and things
say,
like that.
not a sponsor when we open a beer and talk about it.
But a government can be like, hey, we suggest this product to you. Go buy this product and use it for 6 to 12 years. Monthly.
6 to 12 years? That's
Monthly.
insane.
Like,
I just blew me away. I cut it all down. They didn't come back at me again, probably because they realized I'm out of business because I went out there and got it taken care of. But yeah, it's not. This happens in all cities, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, I'm
and
sure.
this isn't the first time something like this has happened to me. And like, rant over because we're running out of time here, and this was supposed to be a short episode, just a little in-betweener. But I want your guys' opinion on this, because in my opinion, the Noxious weed board is out to get me.
I don't want an opinion so much as I want to hear about if you've ever run into something like this. Not just with the Noxious weed board, but I want to hear about like weird things that like the city, like, or the state or the government tries to like put on you as an individual.
Yeah.
Like,
No, this
just weird-
happens all the
weird
time.
little
They
things.
squeeze little things in because they know you're not going to make a fit.
Yeah.
That's
Kinda
what
like,
it is.
And it doesn't have to be government or anything. It could be a company like, Comcast, who like tacked on a ton of fees on the people's bills, and they know.
People get banks get busted for it all the time.
Yeah, but-
nickel and diamond
But
people.
they know, like, the little guy, as one would say, like, even if you're fighting against it, they just have all these legal loopholes and put it off and all.
Yeah, sure.
Let us know if you've ever ran into that where you're just like, you want to rant about it. We might even be able to call someone and have them come and tell us their experience with something like this.
Yeah, if
as
you
one
got
of our
something you
mini-sub-
want to tell us about, we'll talk about it in another miniature episode. So contact us on Facebook. You can contact us on Twitter. You can contact us on Patreon, even if you don't donate money.
Yep.
But if you think, hey, it's wrong that they charged that man fines for having skeleton weed on an alleyway next to his house, even though there's no crops around, maybe you want to go over to Patreon and donate $1 a month. That'll make me feel better.
to help him with the beer.
Yeah, to help me buy more beer. So, rant over. Noxious weed board is out to get me. Signing off.
Goodbye.